So much more to hear.
Download our podcasts at DubaiI1038.com.
We're talking Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies now. Delighted to be joined in the studio by Vijay Valecha of the Dubai-based Century Financial Brokers. Vijay, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Richard. How are you?
I'm really good, thank you, and delighted to have you with us to shine some light on what people in the UAE are doing or not doing when it comes to investing in cryptocurrencies. I use the word investing loosely. Century Financial Brokers, now you're not a Bitcoin exchange. We don't think there are any licensed Bitcoin exchanges here in the UAE. It's a bit of a grey area. You're a brokerage house. You deal mainly in three things: commodities, currencies, and also stocks. But here's the thing: in recent months, a lot of your clients who normally trade those fairly conventional assets on international exchanges have been asking you about cryptocurrencies. So first of all, on the demand side, what kind of questions are you getting, and how much of an increase have you seen in appetite for cryptocurrencies among UAE investors?
So usually we get the currency questions only on Bitcoin. It used to be Bitcoin in 2017. In 2016, we heard very less of cryptocurrencies. Investors usually nowadays ask about Ripple, Ethereum, and about other cryptocurrencies like even Dogecoin for that matter.
Excuse me?
Even Dogecoin for that matter.
Which is
another shaggy dog story.
Yeah. So there are almost 1,800 ICOs already listed. And the
ICO
numbers
is...
the initial coin offering.
Right.
So cryptocurrencies are growing much faster than usual stocks. And the reason is that, it's easy to remove an ICO as compared to an IPO.
Hang on. Let's take a step back. It's easier to do what?
To release an ICO.
An initial coin offering than an initial public offering, so there are more of them around.
Correct.
Let's look first of all at the big three, if you like, that people are trading, that taxi drivers know about. Bitcoin, Ethereum or Ether, and Ripple.
Correct.
What kind of questions are you getting about those?
Well, majorly what's a good time to get into it? Is the coin legit? And more importantly, it is that, can I make money out of it?
Right, okay, so those are the questions you're getting. What are the answers you're giving?
The answers is the legitimacy, nobody actually knows. The technology is fairly decent. Blockchain is definitely going to change the future, but it definitely will not be these coins which will be making the difference.
Right. So your advice to most people is what?
My advice to most people is do not trade in cryptos, because it is something which is actually going to zero, just like how Goldman Sachs actually had pointed out. Yes, the upside move could be very high. We could see Bitcoin trading at even 200,000, 300,000, but it is something which somebody should be avoiding.
Right. So your standard advice is don't trade these things.
Correct.
But then people come back and say, yeah, but Vijay, I really, really want to. So if I am going to, then what's the next stage?
Not more than 2% of a portfolio.
Not more than 2% of your portfolio. So money you can afford to lose effectively.
Absolutely.
And in terms of strategy, because you're a strategist, aren't you?
Correct.
You advise people on strategy. Are there any strategies for investing in these cryptocurrencies? Can you even devise a strategy?
So the idea is cryptocurrencies are quite new. To devise a strategy will be quite difficult. The only way you can do it is fundamentally looking at the technology behind the thing. So IOTA is something which we recommend if you want to get into cryptocurrencies.
What's that?
IOTA.
What's IOTA?
IOTA is another cryptocurrency.
Oh, right, okay.
So that one actually has a good technology.
Right, that has a good technology.
Yeah, so that's what we actually tell. If you want to get into the space, get into at least the right technology.
What determines a good technology from a
which has usability? Anything that has usability is much more better to get into, because there could be a lot of things which are created just for money making, but they cannot be used in the future.
Right, so it actually has a use, it has
Absolutely.
utility.
I'm interested in how you would approach analysing the investment merits of a Bitcoin or an Ether, because you're an analyst. Your job title is Chief Market Analyst, and you've worked as an analyst at many organisations over the past few years, including Rasmala here in Dubai, an organisation we know well. And I understand how you can analyse the fundamentals of the currency market. You can look at the countries that those currencies are issued by, you can look at their balance sheet or whatever, and you take a view, whether you're bullish or bearish, that's fine. I understand with commodities, like oil, you could have a view that you think demand and supply, and look at those fundamentals and have a view. You may be right or wrong, but you can analyse it. Stocks as well, you can analyse the cash flows. I wouldn't know where to begin, though. With Bitcoin, how do you analyse the fundamentals of it? I don't even know what questions to ask, let alone what answers to give. Can you do any fundamental analysis on Bitcoin?
The only fundamental analysis you can do with Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency would be basically the mining cost. So the mining cost is really high. If it's difficult to obtain, it will definitely have higher value. So the supply bit is the only actual information that we have.
Right.
I have friends, though, who are busy telling me about cryptocurrencies I haven't heard of and saying that they've got 15 and 20-year projections for where it's going to go. And these are currencies that have been around for a year, maybe 18 months.
So the idea is people actually start optimizing their returns. They start thinking that the returns that have come in Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies will actually continue for the next 15 years, which honestly is not sustainable. And I don't think these cryptocurrencies of today will actually even survive for 15 years.
What about 1 gram coin, the gold-backed cryptocurrency here?
Correct. Even that, actually, when you think of cryptocurrencies which are backed by something, they are not actually backed by anything. They're just fluctuation of prices move along with the thing they are backed by. But you don't actually get any gold with the gold coin. You don't get anything with any other coin.
But to be fair, I mean, the gold standard, when it was, you didn't actually get the gold either. And I'm sure that if you'd actually sort of turned up at the US Royal Mint and said, I want my gold, they wouldn't have given it to you.
That's very true. So a lot of people actually are, relating the gold standard to cryptocurrencies in the sense that it has limited supply. But with Ripple coming in, the actual business has changed. So Ripple does not have a limited supply. Ripple has an unlimited supply. So it's a cryptocurrency with an unlimited supply, whereas gold will have a limited supply.
Fascinating stuff. Appreciate you joining us today to share your insights on this. Vijay Valecha is Chief Market Analyst at Century Financial Brokers here in Dubai. Appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
There's just so much more to hear.
Download our podcasts at DubaiEye1038.com.